Let's talk about why everything costs more than it did last year, and why you, specifically, are getting poorer while standing perfectly still. It's called inflation, and you've been quietly robbed by it your whole life without noticing because you weren't paying attention. Here's what inflation actually is, in words even you can chew on. Inflation means prices go up over time, which is the same thing as saying your money buys less. A dollar today does not buy what a dollar bought 10 years ago. Same dollar, smaller pile of stuff. Your money is basically an ice cube, and inflation is the warm room it's sitting in, melting a little every single day while your dumbass watches. Now, why does this happen? And try to keep the drool off your keyboard. The simplest version, when there's too much money floating around chasing too few actual things to buy, prices get bid up. Picture 10 idiots at an auction, all suddenly handed extra cash. They don't get more stuff to bid on, they just have fatter wallets, so they bid each other up, and the price of everything climbs. That's you and everyone else, brokey, after the government prints a mountain of money. There are other flavors, like when the cost of making things goes up and companies pass it to you, but the core idea is the same. More money, same goods, higher prices. And here's the part that should genuinely make you angry if you can locate the feeling. Inflation is a hidden tax on your savings that nobody voted for. That money sitting in your checking account doing nothing, it's losing value every year, silently, whether you notice or not. If inflation is running at, say, 5%, and your money is sitting there earning basically zero, you got 5% poorer this year for the crime of being too lazy to do anything with it. Congratulations, you lost money without spending a dime. Now let me introduce the trick your tiny brain always falls for, the difference between nominal and real. Grip your crayon. Nominal is the number on the paycheck. Real is what that number can actually buy. So you got a 3% raise this year and you felt like a big shot. But if prices went up 5%, you didn't get a raise, you got a 2% pay cut wearing a party hat. You're not richer, you just have more numbers that buy less. And you probably went and celebrated by financing a TV. Here's another thing they don't tell broke people. Inflation quietly picks winners and losers. It punishes savers, the people holding cash, and it actually helps borrowers, the people holding debt. Because if you owe a fixed amount, inflation shrinks the real value of what you owe over time. You pay it back with money that's worth less than the money you borrowed. This is a big reason governments, who are drowning in debt, are not exactly heartbroken about a little inflation. The system is not built for the guy with $200 in savings. That's you, obviously. So what do you actually do about it before you go stuff cash under your mattress like a paranoid raccoon? Rule 1. Holding all your money in plain cash is a slow, guaranteed loss. Cash is for spending and for a small emergency buffer, not for storing your life savings. Rule 2. You beat inflation by owning things that go up when prices go up. Assets. A broad stock index fund, for example, has historically grown faster than inflation over the long run, which means your money actually gains ground instead of melting. I know, buying assets requires effort and a functioning brain, so I understand if this is where you tap out. And you should at least know who's supposedly fighting this thing. The central bank, the Federal Reserve. When inflation runs too hot, they raise interest rates. Higher rates make borrowing more expensive, which cools everybody's spending, which slows the price increases down. It's like taking the punch bowl away from the party. Nobody likes it, it can slow the whole economy and even cause a recession, but it's the main lever they've got. So the next time you hear the Fed raised rates and your eyes glaze over, that's them trying to stop your groceries from doubling. Now, a little inflation is actually considered normal and even healthy, usually a target around 2% a year. The problem is when it spikes way past that, because then your wages can't keep up, your savings evaporate faster, and everything from rent to eggs starts feeling impossible. That's the inflation everyone panics about. The quiet 2% kind still robs you slowly though, which is exactly why doing nothing with your money is never actually safe. Let me make this real for your concrete thick skull. A single dollar back in 1980 bought what takes roughly $4 to buy today. Your grandpa's candy bar cost a quarter. That's not because the candy got fancier, it's because the dollar got weaker year after year while nobody was looking. Every year you hold a pile of cash and do nothing, you're quietly volunteering to be the sucker in that exact story. Now, why does the government keep printing money if it screws everyone over? because it's the easiest way to pay for things they don't actually have the money for. Wars, bailouts, giant spending programs, a lot of it funded by conjuring fresh money into existence. And every new dollar they create makes the ones already sitting in your wallet worth a little less. Think of it like the bartender secretly adding water to everyone's beer. More liquid in the glass, same amount of actual beer, and now every drink is weaker. You didn't get a vote, you just got a watered-down wallet and a smile. And here's why inflation feels so personally brutal. Your wages are slow and lazy, just like you. Prices at the store can jump overnight, but your paycheck only moves when your boss decides to hand you a raise, which is roughly never. So there's this painful gap where everything costs more, but you're still earning the same, falling a little further behind every month. That gap is why people with a full-time job still feel like they're drowning. It's not in your head, brokey. The math is genuinely rigged against you. And if you want to see where this goes when it completely spirals, go look up hyperinflation. There are famous cases where money got so worthless that people hauled literal wheelbarrows of cash just to buy a loaf of bread, and burning the paper money for heat was cheaper than using it to buy firewood. That's the nightmare extreme, and it's rare, but it shows you what money actually is. A shared promise that only works as long as people trust it. That's more history than your little brain ordered, So let's get back to saving your sorry finances. Oh, and they've got a sneaky cousin move you've definitely fallen for. Shrinkflation. That's when the price stays the same, but the product quietly gets smaller. The bag of chips is now half air and a prayer. The candy bar lost a chunk. Same money, less stuff. They just hid it so your lazy eyes wouldn't catch it. And the official inflation number they read on the news? It's an average, and your personal inflation is probably worse, because the stuff that's exploded, rent, food, insurance, is the exact boring stuff you can't opt out of buying. So what do you do right now, today, before another year gets stolen from you? The little bit of cash you keep for emergencies should at least sit in a high-yield savings account so it earns something instead of a big dumb bank account paying you a laughable zero while inflation feasts. And the rest, the actual long-term money, goes into assets that grow so your wealth outruns the melting instead of standing there getting soaked. That's the whole defense. It's not complicated. It just requires you to do literally anything other than nothing, which, historically, is your specialty. So let's put the whole thing in words even your slowly shrinking brain can hold. Inflation means prices rise and your money buys less. It happens when there's too much money chasing too few goods. It's a hidden tax that punishes savers and helps debtors. A raise below inflation is a pay cut. Cash slowly loses, so you beat it by owning assets that grow, and the Fed fights it by raising rates. Do that, and you stop being inflation's favorite victim, the broke guy who works harder every year and somehow has less. Ignore it. Keep your life savings as a sad little pile of melting cash, and enjoy watching prices lap you until you're old. Your call, Now go check what your money's actually earning before inflation eats another year of it.